Hello and welcome to Nourish Senior Life. Today we are here at Amica at Little Lake, also joined by Eve from Zares Canada, putting together some easy, delicious, and nutritious meals.
I'm a physiotherapist and I work with people with Parkinson's disease. So Parkinson's is a neurological condition that affects, usually most people are diagnosed between 50 and 60. The symptoms of it are varied, but the symptoms that I work most with are the motor symptoms. So the four most common symptoms, one is slow movement, which is bradykinesia. So that movements get a little bit slower than they normally would be. The second one is rigidity. So movements are a little bit stiffer. Your body feels a little bit more rigid. The other one, and the one that people most think about when they think about Parkinson's, is a tremor or a shaking. And the other one is postural instability or decreased balance. Those are the four most common motor symptoms that people have with Parkinson's, but there are also other cognitive and emotional symptoms that you can get with Parkinson's. I actually did an amazing new course that was just offered for the first time in Canada. It's called Parkinson's Wellness Recovery. I just did it in July. I've been working with people with Parkinson's, but this is just based on new research that's been happening in this area. And so basically, they really do think, based on latest research, that exercise can actually cause neuroplasticity or change in your brain, which is actually really kind of exciting. But there are definitely lots of things that you can do to target those symptoms that I was describing with specific exercises. There is so much people can be doing to maximize their function. I like to see people not giving up the things that they love to do. If they love gardening, if they love getting out and riding their bike, we can try and problem solve and figure out a way that we can improve the things that they need to do to be able to do those things. It is pretty remarkable. Almost with just a few simple suggestions, people can really improve how they're moving and feel better and do things a lot better in their day-to-day life.
I am so excited to be here this morning with you all, cooking this wonderful penne spinach and tomato pasta with a poached egg. And the reason why I chose this recipe today was, one, it is simple, it is easy, it's very, very delicious and very high in protein. So when we talk about chronic conditions, we want to make sure that we're getting enough protein to keep our sugar levels as high as obvious, to keep our energy levels high is what I meant to say. So eating a nutritious diet, exercise, movement are essential in keeping those chronic conditions at bay as much as possible. So I apologize in advance, but I may be looking at my phone for, the recipe just to make sure that I'm following it correctly, but it's super easy to have this lovely tool right in front of me. So to start off with, we do have a whole wheat or whole grain penne pasta. With whole grains, we know that they are extremely high in fiber. They're high in insoluble fibers to help kind of add bulk to the stool system and allow for better digestive health. So that's what we have going on right now. We've got a little bit of that penne pasta that's going to be sizzling and simmering for a few minutes here, just so that it's nice and soft for us when we're ready to mix in all the rest of the ingredients. Okay, perfect. So I've got a large skillet here, which we are going to put over medium heat, and essentially that's going to allow us to cook some of the spinach as well as the tomatoes. So we are going to be adding some olive oil to our skillet, and we're just going to let that heat up for a few minutes. We're going to use these beautiful beefsteak tomatoes. they're hearty, they're large, they're beautiful in color. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start dicing and chopping. And I apologize if I cut my fingers. All right. I'm not going to make too many of these tomatoes because we have a small audience today. But we'll cut these up nice and finely, or as finely as we can. They're going to be one of the stars of our dish, as well as those beautiful spinach leaves. Okay. I'm going to try to get them down a little bit smaller. I'm a home cook, not a trained chef, but it is one of those things that I do enjoy doing at home for the kids, for my husband. And again, you know, we try to live as healthy as possible. And I'm just going to chop a few of these. I'm not going to do too many. And I'm going to try to chop them as finely as possible so that they're going to be easier to cook on the stovetop. Okay. So as you can see, those beautiful bright colors, the contrast of the red as well as the spinach. Okay, so the next portion of this recipe is to make sure that we are able to heat that pan, which it feels like it's warm enough. We are going to add the tomatoes first, and I'm going to season with some salt and pepper. Obviously, you know, in order to eat as healthy as possible, we want to season sparingly with the salt, but I think we can be a little bit generous with the pepper. So we are just gonna let those cook for a few minutes here. Okay, it looks like they're cooking really, really well. So just to add a little bit of spice, we're gonna add just a tiny pinch of paprika. And this will help give it a nice flavor. And like I mentioned, you wanna be as sparing as you can with the salt in terms of seasoning. Okay, now we're gonna add our spinach as the tomatoes look like they're nice and soft. And we're just gonna mix that in together. The recipe also calls for a little bit of basil, which is also a nice flavor addition to the meal. So they're just marrying together. It looks like our pasta is ready to come off of the stove and be drained. So let's just take a look to see how our spinach and tomatoes doing. That's looking good. So I'm gonna just take that off the stove, make sure it doesn't overcook. Turn off these burners. Okay, so this is the most difficult part of this particular recipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some water in a pan, in a saucepan, and we are going to boil it. Make sure that it simmers, and we are going to poach an egg today. Okay, so in our saucepan, we've got some simmering water right now. We've got our egg, which we are going to break and ensure that we do not break the yolk. So watch this. Okay. Okay. All right. So as you can tell, the yolk is not broken. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to whisk this water almost into like a whirlpool just for a few seconds, and then I'm going to slowly put in my egg. And it's going to cook there for about 3 minutes. Okay, so that's gonna slowly come together. And then in about 3 minutes, we'll remove it from the water and add it to our pasta. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a bit of the already pre-made pasta. I'm going to just mix in everything that we've got here. Make sure that it warms up. It's got some great color. The pasta looks nice and cooked, but not overly cooked. And again, with that whole wheat penne, you've got some great texture and that fiber that's so fantastic to be able to stay regular and help with, you know, constipation. I can smell that basil. I can smell the paprika, the tomatoes, and the spinach look fantastic. So I'm just going to put that into our lovely bowl. Okay. So we should be able to cut into the yolk and have it expel, which it did, as you can see there, the egg yolk. I mean, I might have overcooked it just a tiny bit, but you can see the yolk.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, this is all my food.
I know.
I love how the sauce is so simple, but it's so good. Does it have flavor?
Yeah, great flavor. Yep.
And I love the idea of the egg for my protein.
Yeah. You can taste the basil.
How do you like the pasta?
I'm
How's
not
it?
past some man really, but it's just good.
Good, good.
Yeah, different taste.
The different layers. The spinach, the tomatoes.
Yeah.
All right, so my name is Eve and I'm a registered dietitian, and I thought it'd be fun if we did a breakfast, but a dessert as a breakfast.
So best of both worlds collide, and we're actually going to do a healthy peach crisp. So a lot of people think crisp is dessert, but we're actually going to do healthy swaps, so it'll actually be healthy enough that you could eat for breakfast. So today when I was trying to get inspiration for the recipe, peaches are in season and I'm a big peach fan. So we're using local Niagara peaches. And when you're picking peaches, you want a peach that, has a little bit of give to the touch, because then you know it's ripe and good to go. The thing with peaches, though, is you buy a big thing and then they all are ripe at the same time. So this is a great way to use your ripe peaches, and then you have a healthy breakfast for the rest of the week, which is really awesome, especially as we age. We don't want to be cooking every day. So this is something you can make with your family, and then you have breakfast for a week. So we're going to take our nice ripe peaches. I'm actually going to leave the skin on. A lot of people take the skin off, but a lot of the fiber and the nutrients are in the skin. So I leave the skin on for my recipe, and then you just slice around the pit. Yep. And you want it to be, as I said, a little soft to the touch, but not too soft. And then I just put it in slices, like so. Right, and you want them as even size as possible. So today's recipe is about 7 peaches, but you can always use more or less. And I love peaches because they are relatively lower in calories. They're only 40 calories per peach, but you're also going to get tons of antioxidants. And there's also a lot of beta carotene in it, which is really good for your heart. And peaches, when they're ripe, they're so naturally sweet, and that's why this is a healthy crisp, because we don't need to add that much sugar. We're just going to be using the natural sugar from the peach to kind of enhance the dish and make it good. So we got 7 peaches all cut up. Now what we're going to do is we are going to make the top of our crisp. So we're going to start off with some lovely quick cut oats. You can get organic or not organic, it doesn't matter, but this is going to give us a lot of energy, and it's got both soluble and insoluble fiber. So it's definitely helpful, if you feel constipated, or even helps with diarrhea. It kind of helps with both. It just helps keep you regular, which we all want that, right? So we're going to add, it's 1.5 cups. And I find, honestly, when you have oatmeal, it keeps you full for a very long time. It's because it has carbohydrates, but they have low glycemic index, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar as fast as, let's say, a white toast or cereal. Okay, so we got 1.5 cups of that, and then this is kind of the fun little twist to make it a little healthier. We're going to add hemp hearts, my all-time favorite, 3 tablespoons, 10 grams of protein, right? Because you do want to have some kind of protein for breakfast, because that also helps keep you full for longer. So in this recipe, it's actually 1/2 cup of flax or hemp hearts, and hemp hearts also, you know what, there's not that much, so there we go, to good health. So yeah, and they also have tons of omega, which is so good for your brain. All right, next, one of my favorites is flax seed, but when you're buying flax seed, you actually do want to get it milled, because that allows the omegas to be released. You can use whole, you'll still get the fiber, but the milled, you also get the omega. Yeah. So in this recipe, we add 2 tablespoons of milled flax. That's what it looks like. See how it's all kind of ground up? That means it's milled. And honestly, you don't even notice it's in there, but you're getting all the nutrients from it, so it's really good. And this is very high in fiber, so it is good for constipation. If you do feel like you're constipated, sneak this in any way you can. And then we are going to add some cinnamon. So cinnamon is a great way to add flavor without adding sugar. And there has been some studies to show that it can actually decrease our blood glucose levels. Obviously, you still want to watch your sugars, but it is a great way to sprinkle a little extra nutrients. So it's just 1/2 teaspoon. A little bit goes a long way, but I'm a big cinnamon lover. We can also just put a little extra on our lovely peaches. You can never have too much cinnamon. Well, you can, but we won't today. All right, now we're gonna add brown sugar. So obviously we do need a little sugar, but we're just gonna not put too much. So it's 3 tablespoons in the whole recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then of course, to make a crisp crumbly, you need butter. So 5 tablespoons of salted butter will go right into our bowl. This is what gives it the crumble. I think I had a little extra, so there we go. And then you can use 2 knives or just a pastry cutter that you have at home. And we're gonna make our crumble up. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I like sometimes have a sweet tooth in the morning. So this kind of satisfies it, but I don't have to feel as guilty. And the key thing is that you use a ripe fruit because then you get the natural sweetness from the fruit instead of anything else. Look at that. And this obviously can be used as a dessert too, which is great. And I feel like breakfast is one thing that we often can skip, or we just have toast or something like that. And really, when you're looking at improving your health and getting enough nutrients in, you just got to sneak it in where you can. So anything, like even if you use this as a dessert, at least you're getting omega and flax and fiber. Okay, so see, it's nice and crumbled. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put my lovely Ontario peaches in the bottom. You just want like a thin layer. It can kind of double. And as I said, this would make 2 of them. So I'm just gonna show you how to do 1, but this would definitely make 2, or you can use a larger pan, obviously. So put our nice, lovely peaches. You can cook them in the oven, like just the peaches for a little bit first if you feel like they're hard and you want them to soften up, but I think they'll be okay. All right, and then we put our lovely crumble mixture on top. And this is honestly, this recipe is so easy. You can't really mess it up. And then we'll use half of our mixture, and as I said, you can put half on the other one, or you can use an 8x8 or an 8x10 pan, and then you will just make 1. There you go. And then you're actually like excited to eat breakfast in the morning. Perfect. Okay, so you preheat your oven at 350 and it's about 25 minutes, so in no time. All right, so I'm gonna put this in. Whew, it's hot. And with the magic of television, I have one ready. Here we are. Doot. Yep, so here is our lovely peach crisp. It's nice and golden. It's got the flax and the hemp. Yeah, and it smells amazing. So I'm definitely excited to eat that. Oh yeah, crispy. I love the smell of cooked peaches.
That's okay.
Yummy. Star judges. You're welcome. It's hot, so just warning, it is hot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. I didn't have breakfast today, so this is great.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it would be good with some yogurt. So, if you want.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's hot.
Oh, it smells good.
It's delicious.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really good.
I'm gonna totally make this for my kids.
So my name is Eve Laws. I'm a registered dietitian and I work at Zehrs and Loblaws in Barrie. And I love being a registered dietitian because not only do I get to teach people, what to eat to be healthy, I get to teach people how to eat to be healthy, right? Because we all know that we need to add more fruits and vegetables to our diet and add more whole grains and more fiber, but I get to actually help teach people how do you actually do that. And what I'm really passionate about now is really teaching people how to meal prep, how to cook once and eat for multiple days. And that's why today I did a kind of a meal prep on a breakfast with a peach crisp, where it's something where you can make it once and then you have healthy breakfast for a few days. And as a dietitian at Loblaws and Zehrs, I also try to teach people how to kind of do healthy swaps and add things to their diet. So I know people come to me overwhelmed, right? Because everyone has different health conditions, has different preferences, and it can definitely get overwhelming. And that's why as a dietitian, I like to kind of help scale things back and teach people simple and easy things that you can make to keep you healthy.
Comfort Keepers is a home care agency, and much like every other home care agency, we provide personal care, we provide transportation, we provide meal prep, and it's just our mission and our goal is to keep our seniors as independent as long as possible wherever they call home. And we do that through a philosophy that we call interactive caregiving. So for us, when we are out in the community and we're helping our seniors, we are doing with our clients, we're not doing for them. And I think that community starts at home, right? Obviously. We have to advocate for our seniors. We have to advocate for the people that are vulnerable in our community. And that's why Nourish Senior Life is so important. And that's why we're so passionate about making sure that our seniors, that our clients, that our caregivers are eating healthy, that they're choosing meals that are easy, that are affordable, and something that they can enjoy. So I think it's extremely important that those chronic conditions that our seniors, as well as any age population, is dealing with, that we are putting nutrition and we're putting physical activity at the forefront of trying to keep those symptoms at bay. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, and we will continue to educate as many people as we possibly can. Thank you so much, Eve. That peach crisp was fantastic. It's definitely something that I'm going to do with my kids at home, as well as, just having a healthy option and something fun to make.
Awesome, and thanks, Erica. That pasta, I'm honestly still full. And I got my egg protein. I'm always scared to do poached eggs, but you gave me the inspiration to do it.
Awesome.
So thank you so much, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.